Hey, trappers. Whew, Jeff Haggerty again with J3 Outdoors. Probably about a week and a half or so ago, I had a coyote on a drag, and I showed that drag being taken across the bean field, getting hung up, and while I was out there, I was just kind of showing the area and how it's an area that I usually come back to and set cable restraints, and how I have found Michigan legal cable restraints to first be problematic. Hey, Chris. At first they were problematic, and then after many years of trial and error, I got them to where they're a successful tool in my toolbox. And it seemed like we had gotten quite a bit of people that were interested in seeing more or hearing more about Michigan legal cable restraints and how I'm setting them and so on and so forth. So I am going to do my best effort right now to provide that information. Hopefully you can hear me. It's a little windy out here today. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up, or if it sounds like crap, give me a thumbs down. But I'll do my best. So first off, when it comes to cable restraints, every state has different laws, different interpretations, so on and so forth. So don't take anything, this is my disclaimer, so don't take anything that I'm saying as legal or law. I don't think it'll hold up in court. But in that said, like you could go to Wisconsin or you could go to Michigan, and both are going to have different cable restraint laws. So you got to make sure that you know what you're doing. And us as trappers, we have to make sure that we're setting responsibly, right? So let's start out with a cable restraint and the cable. The cable, in my opinion, is probably the most important thing that you purchase that makes your cable restraint either successful or not successful. This is 3/32 1x19 Korean-made cable. I get my cable directly from Newt Sterling, but I know like Snare 1 in Minnesota and F&T, everybody carries cable. Get the cable that's right for you. Probably the most important thing is the 1x19, okay? Now, I use 3/32. The reason I use 3/32 is simple. To me, it's probably the largest diameter I would want to go to not get a ton of backaways or coyotes avoiding the cable restraint, and it allows for maybe one additional bite that coyote would put on the cable without it breaking. So you can go to the 5/64 or whatever, a little bit smaller. You can go to 1/16. Whatever floats your boat, I don't care. I'm telling you, I use 3/32 and I find it to work just fine. So anyways, so Michigan legal cable restraint, obviously you got to have a relaxing lock. You got to have a breakaway device. You got to have a deer stop. You got to have two swivels. So this is an inline swivel that I use. This is actually a saltwater fishing barrel swivel. It's made for like billfish, like 500. I think this one's 800 pound strength. That's what I use. And then down the cable, I've got the second swivel with my name tag on it, and then I've got my earth anchor. So going backwards, earth anchor, then up. Gonna have my second swivel, and then the actual loop for the cable restraint. Now, a few things to note. Michigan also has a length restriction on the cable restraint. It can only be 5 feet long. 60 inches is all the cable restraint can be. And your extension can only be 36 inches, so 3 feet. So when you're purchasing cable restraints, make sure that you make sure that you're purchasing them or you're making them to within those requirements, or well, you're going to have Johnny Green knocking on your door. Now the next thing is so that's essentially the cable restraint. I've cut all of mine over to this that I use in Michigan. The ones I use in other states are different, but this is the setup that I'm running, and I find it to be really successful. The one thing to note is the whammy, which is this little guy right here. So this is what is going to go onto the snare support or the cable restraint support to hold this in place where you want it. I prefer the gas tubing. There's all kinds of different metal ones and stuff, but I prefer the gas tubing. And that's really only because sometimes I use 11 gauge wire, sometimes I use 9 gauge wire, so on and so forth. And the metal ones don't have the flexibility that the little gas tube ones have. And well, I just get better use out of it, better versatility. So there's that. The other thing that you can do, this might make a little bit of noise. 1 second. So the one thing that you can do is you can, and there's different shapes that you can bend the end of your 9 gauge wire into. But instead of using a whammy, right, or if your whammy doesn't work properly and so on and so forth, you can simply take the end of your 9 gauge wire, okay, and you simply just wrap it in there, right, to hold your snare, your cable restraint where you want it. None of this information should be new to most folks that have been out there snaring or using cable restraints or whatever. Again, I wanted to do this more so for that beginner or the people that are struggling with Michigan cable restraints. So just to cap off, 1x19, a high quality cable. I'm using 332nd Korean, 1x19. A bad or your breakaway device, ours are a 285 pound. You can use either the S style or the J style depending on the lock that you're going to use. It makes the end of your cable lay differently is all. Hey Justin, how are you, buddy? And then that's really swivel, your preference, and this preference. So now what I want to do is I wanted to show people kind of how I'm setting them legally within Michigan and what I'm looking for. Justin, if I get one, I'll be sure to send it your way. All right. So the tools that you need for this. See if I can flip this with my glove on. Nope, I can't. It's chilly out here today too. All right. So the tools that you need for setting cable restraints is you'll need a hammer. You'll need a driver of some sort, depending on what your anchor is, or if you're just wiring them off to trees or something, you can obviously get by with just a cable extension. And so here's what I'm doing, right? So I'm gonna grab one of these, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna hold my phone yet, but we'll make it happen somehow. So I'm going to grab one cable restraint for this so I can show you, and one 9-gauge extension. Alright, so you can see I came in through this field. I've already got 2 cable restraints hung on the edge. I'll show you the area that I'm at. But on cable restraints, I like to load them up pretty heavy. You're not using any bait or lure to draw things in the area, so you're trying to cover where they're running, right? So you can see here, the coyotes have came right down here. They've messed around there, come up and around, up, and then up the edge of the field. And so what I like to do, I think it's important that you walk in a planned manner, right? So essentially, I don't want to just jump on their trail and walk down their trail. Now, if there's deep snow, if the snow's, really deep and you can actually make a trail, I think, your coyotes and cats and stuff are going to follow that trail, so I don't think it matters as much. But when you've got, just a little dusting or no snow at all, if you're a deer hunter, any animal that comes up to where you walk, they're going to stop and smell it. And so what we don't want to do is we don't want that to happen unless, we're making a big trail, a deep trail in the snow that they can walk down. So, but we're not doing that today. So this is why I'm going to walk right in my trail, okay? And what I found is because I've already essentially got these ones set up, right? So I've got these coyotes set up on this run going east to west. What I also found is there's a spot, or two spots actually, where it looks like they're going north and south, right up here. So you can see in there where they're coming out through there, right? And they're rejoining this run. So I'm going to get one in there. But I'm not going to just walk right over to it, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come up to it from the side and set it. I think that's extremely important, again, when you're not making a deep trail for them to go through. So I've got a cable restraint there, and I've got a cable restraint already hung right there on the edge of that corn stalk. That was already there. That was already an established path that they were working. So there's one there. That's a little bit more open than what I prefer. I like them to be a little bit more blended, but it doesn't bother me to put it in. So here you can see where those coyotes have gone up into that trail where I'm going to set a cable restraint right now. So this again is going to be a little difficult trying to with my hands, but again, so I'm going to walk down, okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this weed grass and stuff to kind of step in certain areas. So I basically crossed the run that they were using. I didn't go up and down it in this situation. So now I'm in the grass. We'll swing back over here. Here's the run that we're talking about setting. Okay, so what I would like to do is I would like to have my snare right in there and hanging, catching those guys. So let me see if I can step out here. All right. Not sure how good this is gonna work. I need Dunlap here to hold my phone. All right, I think you can see, you probably can't hear, but that's probably the least requirement anyways, is to hear it. So all right. Then I want to show you, so on the end of my snare support. All right, are you still there? Said it was reconnecting. I don't know if it is reconnected or not. All right, I think it's back. If you're live or if you're on, can you give me a thumbs up? Said that it's reconnected. All right, well, I'm not getting any thumb up, so I think that, oh, there we go. There's a thumbs up. Thank you very much. What I'm going to do is finish making this set. It said I had poor quality signal, but we'll see. We'll see if we can't get it finished up. So what I was saying is on the end of my snare support, I like to make it into an S. That keeps it from spinning down in the ground. You could get all kinds of different devices and add-ons and some sort of, stuff that, are pre-made. But this S, this S down in the dirt seems to work pretty good too. So, anyways, let me get back to making this. All right. Sorry about the buffering or the signal quality, but here's the finished. So again, that's really all that there is to it. Just using a quality cable, relax and lock. Make sure you keep it within the regs. No entanglement, and just be cautious or kind of plan your approach where you're walking, so you don't get any that are going to turn around on you. But anyways, I apologize that the cell signal wasn't any better, but hopefully that answers the questions that we were getting on cable restraints. Let me see. I'm just going to scroll through, see if there's any questions that came on the chat. Justin, I'm not sure exactly how many we're going to get out. I'm kind of going a little bit slow today. I'd like to get out a few dozen today. I'm just kind of petering around. The main thing is kind of kicked my butt a little bit, and it's kind of got my motivation a little bit under where it should be. But so anyways, if there's any other questions, again, I apologize for the buffering or the video being so bad. But I'm essentially going to do the same thing right here. Okay, where it looks like coyotes are shooting right through there. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to step there. Oop. not seeing it. So I'm gonna do the same thing right here, right? I'm gonna set another cable restraint there. But instead of walking all over this run, I'm just gonna make sure I'm stepping over top of it, and trying not to call any attention is all. In fact, I'll probably go up there, come in, and come back down. But I'll set the phone. Hopefully the video will keep going. All right, here we go. Woo! All right, I'll be right back. All right. Hopefully, all right. Again, I apologize. I must not have a good signal in the area, but anyways, here's what we end up with. that snare or that cable restraint is about 10 inches off the ground, maybe 11, and then about 11-inch loop, 10 to 11-inch loop. So anyways, hopefully that answered questions. Again, apologize for the video. Maybe I'll do another one in a different area. But that's all I'm doing is just setting a few cables. So take care, y'all. We'll see you down the line. If you have any questions, hit me up. See ya.